This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
This podcast is brought to you by Coral, and they're here for the fans. At the Fan Network, we have a mission to shake up the game we all love, and that's why we partnered with Coral, who've been shaking things up too. With their free-to-play rewards shaker, there are guaranteed rewards and exclusive offers to be won every single day. Whether you're a part of the Badging Brigade, the Away Dayers, or the Football Fashionistas, Coral's here for the fans. Play Coral's reward shaker and win bigger guaranteed daily rewards and offers this season. For over 18s only, maximum one reward or offer per player per day. Reward restrictions and requirements and other T's and C's apply. Visit gambleaware.org for more details. This episode is proud to be sponsored by Now, where you can stream Sky Sports flexibly. Catch the biggest games this season how you want, when you want. The football season is back, and you can keep up with all the action on Sky Sports with a Now membership. Whether you're perched on the edge of your sofa or hiding behind it, you can capture more of the drama this season with Now. The heat of the moment, the 90th minute winner, that last-ditch tackle, the pride on the line, and the best bit, you can dip in for the derby or stay for the season. With a Now month membership, you can stream all Sky Sports channels flexibly. No fuss. Go to nowtv.com to find out more about sports memberships. 18 plus, UK only. Minimum speed 2.5 megabits per second. Live scheduling may be subject to change. Full terms apply.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
This podcast is sponsored by AMG Logistics and in association with the Birmingham City Official Supporters Clubs. I'm your host, Craig Courtney, and we're looking forward to the next Blues game and finding out what our opposition fans think. Sit tight and enjoy the next edition of The Away End. Right, so here we are yet again with another edition of The Away End. I'm Craig Courtney, your host, and I'll take you through the upcoming game against, and well, let's just call it the Disney versus Amazon game. So we'll start off first of all, Birmingham. Oh, God, 3-0 loss against Coventry. Arguably for me, the worst game that we've seen Birmingham play this season, and in fact for a very, very long time. Then go into a midweek clash against Sheffield Wednesday where expectations were high. But that didn't turn out that way either, as we drew 2-2 and, well, we had to wait until the 99th minute to equalise. So we go into this game on possibly our worst run of form that we've seen under Chris Davis, and a Wrexham side that have definitely been rebuilt, as we'll find out shortly. As mentioned Tuesday evening, dire performance. After going 1-0 up after 9 minutes, everybody thought, happy days, here we come. To then find Birmingham going 2-1 down after 76 and really, really struggling against the Sheffield Wednesday side that, well, they wore their heart on their sleeves and their fans were just absolutely superb, considering the disappointing season and ownership situation they are in. We never say die attitude. We saw it against Swansea. Yes, Liam, you can laugh if you wish. We did get that 1-0 winner from Lyndon Dykes after 90 minutes. And this time we get the equaliser from Damari Gray in 99 against Sheffield Wednesday. It's fair to say, though, that we could see from the way that Chris Davies walked around the pitch and also his interviews afterwards that he was far from happy with the performance of the players. And I wouldn't have fancied being in that dressing room afterwards. Wrexham come into the game after 2 draws against our Midlands rivals, Leicester City and Derby. So both of those coming over the past 2 games, but also sees a bit of a change in form from where things were. After a very large, and fair to say, probably your largest spend in a season and a window, Wrexham really have continued to build and are looking to take themselves forwards. Joined this evening by Liam Randall from the Till I Die, not Till I Die, that's terrible, the Fearless in Devotion podcast. And thank you very much, first of all, Liam, for joining. And apologies that I was calling you the Sheffield Wednesday podcast.
Oh, it's all right. Thanks for having us on. I was having my own flashbacks to our own Sheffield Wednesday game when you were talking about yours. Then we were 2-0 up, and then drew 2-2 with them. So yeah, at least you got the last minute goal.
Yeah, if there was one thing we could take away, it was that we were smiling afterwards because the unbeaten run at home still exists. But that's it. I mean, God, it only seems like a few months since we've spoken about the Birmingham Wrexham games, and I didn't say it before, but I'll say it now. Congratulations, first of all, on the second spot in the league and getting yourself promoted. It was well earned, and I think is a massive step forward for Wrexham. This season, fair to say, totally different. Both clubs, I think, are finding it harder than expected. And results really have shown that. But, tell us a little bit about Wrexham and the changes that have happened during the summer. And God, your spending spree. I mean, people complained about Birmingham last season, but by Jove, you've outdone us this one in terms of spend. So tell us a little bit about the players you brought in, the squad that you've now got.
Yeah, it's been crazy, to be honest. When we got promoted back in April, it almost felt like when the owners first took over in the National League, when we were all wondering where are we going to be shopping at. We had all these sort of analogies. Will it be Tesco? Will it be Waitrose? Where will it be? And then that time round, we ended up signing the likes of Paul Mullen, and we're like, oh, we mean business here. But if I'm honest, I never saw us spending. I think the total spend was around 33 million estimated on 13 different players. I thought we'd see an overhaul, but I thought it'd be more gradual. So I think it says a lot about what the owners' intentions are and how quickly they want to take us higher. I mean, it's an interesting mix of signings because classically Wrexham have got this perception that we're Dad's army, and we have got a couple of those signings in there. We can't lie. We've got Kiefer Moore, who's actually been brilliant for us so far. Connor Cody, experienced head. Yeah. Danny Ward, bit of a more experienced keeper from Leicester. But chucked into that, there's the likes of Callum Doyle from Man City, previously on loan at Norwich last season, and Issa Kabore, who we've got on loan, quite a young player from Man City as well. So there's a decent mix there. It's definitely been a mixed bag of performances so far in terms of the season as well. We're still sort of feeling out who's who and what's what. There were some fans sort of complaining about feeling a bit of a disconnect at first with the players so far this season. I think just by virtue of the fact that you've had players that have followed us up through 3 promotions, Paul Mullin, Ollie Palmer, those sort of players who've fallen by the wayside amongst it all. I just don't think anyone was quite expecting it to happen this fast.
I think it's fair to say both clubs set their stall out very early. The signings came thick and fast for both of us, really. And some of the names that you've mentioned, when you think about the levels of experience, not only in this league, but also, Premiership experience, it bodes well. And I think, you have to have a mixture of both that experience and the young eager players that are fighting for their future. And you've definitely got that mix. I mean, we go into this game, and when I think about our last 5, we've got a draw, we got 3 wins for Birmingham and 1 win for Wrexham. So it's, and we haven't really played that many games against each other. So it's not as though we can say that this is wildly open. It's also not as far as we can say that one team is going to run away with it. I think actually Friday night, and I've got to say, saying it again, I'm sick and tired of this. Sky TV, right? Leave us alone. The money's great, but please leave us alone. I want a Saturday at 3:00. But we go into a Friday night after a Tuesday night, after a Saturday afternoon, and the previous week a Saturday afternoon. It's like, no, this is ridiculous. Bring football back at 3:00 and it'll be brilliant. Yeah. Rant over that. But tell us then, you've mentioned a few names there. One of them, I'm not going to lie, scares the life out of me when it comes to Friday night. And it's basically because when I think about the way Birmingham are playing at the moment, they've got a very unsettled defensive area. And because of that, we are seeing a bit of unsettling goalkeeping as well. So, we were last season a team that you couldn't get through, or if you did, then you weren't getting any more than one. And it was that and like that when we played each other on both of the occasions. I think the thing that is now being seen is that almost uncertainty across the defensive area is definitely rubbing off on the goalkeeper. And Ryan Alsop has not, for me, been anywhere near like what he was like last season. And we are going into the game with injuries. Ethan Laird out for a few weeks now with a hamstring injury, which it's a massive, massive miss for us. We've also got, we can't decide on our centre-half partnerships at the moment and how it should be. So Tuesday against Sheffield Wednesday, we had Cashin in defence with Clara. Didn't seem to work. We saw the mistake from Cashin on a couple of occasions now in the games. We've got Norman sitting on the bench. You're beginning to wonder, when's he getting back in the team? Is it because there's a balance? Do we need, a left and a right footer playing left and right, or are we just going to go with a lump with two right footers? We just don't know. And then Brighton Samuel he blows so hot and cold. It can be phenomenal on his day, but then others he's prone to the mistakes. So going into it, the person that scares me is Kiefer Moore. He's scoring goals. He's powerful. He's the type of player that arguably I'd have loved to have seen at Birmingham at some point in his career. I think, to be honest, it came a bit late now, but he's a poacher. You know what I mean? He'll put himself about. He's not afraid to put his foot in, and he's not afraid to get involved. And that's the type of player that I think will show their strengths on Friday evening. But tell us a little bit more about the other players that you've got in your team, and where do you see? So where's your main strength at the moment, and where do you think is your biggest weakness?
So it's interesting because a lot of the things that you've just said about Birmingham also ring quite true for Wrexham, because classically under Parky, or I'd say more so in League One than anywhere else, it was all about keeping it tight at the back and grabbing the odd goal. And our home form was always much better than our away. And now everything that we knew about Wrexham is essentially turned on its head in that regard, in that we've conceded quite a few goals. We allow teams a lot of chances, particularly at home this season. We've been quite bad for that. The one area where we're good is at scoring goals. We've scored in every single game we've played this season, which is no mean
nice record to have, that is.
Yeah, it certainly helps. But the defensive thing, like you were saying, so we started off with Connor Cody in the middle of the back three, and we were saying to Leicester fans, like, oh, I don't know what you were moaning about. And then after a few games, some patchy performances, and Dom Hyam, who was at Blackburn, has now taken his spot and looks a lot more solid in that position. Cody's either been consigned to the bench, or on one occasion he wasn't even in the squad.
Wow.
And we've got two of our youngest centre-backs, Max Cleworth, who's followed us all the way up through the divisions, and Lewis Brunt, sort of either side. So again, that's two right-footers, I think, for us, either side of the centre-back. Arthur Okonkwo, who was our solid, reliable goalkeeper, didn't start the season because of Danny Ward. Danny Ward then gets a really bad injury, and Arthur Okonkwo comes back in, but his confidence looks a little bit shot. I don't know if you've seen the goal from Leicester in midweek, but he didn't really get a strong hand. So there's been a couple of doubts there, but then on the upside is, there's been some good attacking displays. I mean, I know we're seen as this sort of hoofball team, but the variety of goals we've scored has actually been quite pleasing this season, with Kabore down the wing. Kiefer Moore obviously gives you that option that if you do want to go long, you can do. But I think we saw against Leicester a bit more. Nathan Broadhead, who we haven't spoken about yet, but is our record signing. I think the figure quoted originally was 10 million, but I'm told it's more like 7.5 with add-ons. But either way, definitely a club record signing. What we saw on Tuesday, because he's only gradually been introduced because he was injured at the start of the season, is that when Kiefer Moore makes room for him, we looked really dangerous basically, and he got his first league goal for us on Tuesday night. So we're hoping, that's a sign that he's starting to come good. So it's been a really, really fascinating one. I mean, I would have liked to have seen Josh Windass start against you guys, but he got an injury in midweek. We're rife with injuries as well. So, but I think potentially that's where Broadhead comes in, because they sort of play a similar role.
And so I think what I'm hearing, strengths potentially is going forwards, and the fact that you've got a goal in the team. But similar to Birmingham, weakness at the moment is the defence and keeping that kind of blank sheet. So going into the game then, I mean, firstly, I've got to ask, I saw a stat the other day, which I really couldn't believe, but I'd be interested from a Wrexham fan's position what your thought is. But Parkinson, is he really under pressure?
This episode is proud to be sponsored by Now, where you can stream Sky Sports flexibly. Catch the biggest games this season how you want, when you want. The football season is back, and you can keep up with all the action on Sky Sports with a Now membership. Whether you're perched on the edge of your sofa or hiding behind it, you can capture more of the drama this season with Now. The heat of the moment, the 90th minute winner, that last-ditch tackle, the pride on the line, and the best bit, you can dip in for the derby or stay for the season. With a Now month membership, you can stream all Sky Sports channels flexibly. No fuss. Go to nowtv.com to find out more about sports memberships. 18 plus, UK only. Minimum speed 2.5 megabits per second. Live scheduling may be subject to change. Full terms apply. This podcast is brought to you by Coral, and they're here for the fans. At the Fan Network, we have a mission to shake up the game we all love, and that's why we partnered with Coral, who've been shaking things up too. With their free-to-play reward shaker, there are guaranteed rewards and exclusive offers to be won every single day. Whether you're a part of the Badging Brigade, the Away Dayers, or the Football Fashionistas, Coral's here for the fans. Play Coral's reward shaker and win bigger guaranteed daily rewards and offers this season. For over 18s only, maximum one reward or offer per player per day. Reward restrictions and requirements and other T's and C's apply. Visit gambleaware.org for more details.
I'm seeing that he's actually, I think it was favourite or second favourite to be the first manager sacked within the Championship. And it kind of shocked me in a way, because of the way that you've come through and what he's brought for you. Is he really under that pressure?
If you'd asked me this about 3 games ago, I think it was maybe after we lost to, was it QPR at home, or it was around that time anyway. I think it was TalkSport put a report out saying, yes, that he was under pressure and that the owners were holding talks. But then on our pod, we had Sean Harvey, former EFL chief exec, who's now one of our directors, and he basically shot it down pretty comprehensively straight away. So I don't think the owners have particularly held talks about getting rid of Phil Parkinson, not after what he's done for them in terms of delivering 3 straight promotions. I think there was a bit of unrest among the fans, and I think a lot of it stems from the fact that his Championship track record isn't the best. But then he's often managed teams like Bolton, who are in financial dire straits. I think he often says his best achievement was actually keeping them up in the Championship when he did. So it's hard to compare like for like, really. And I think also when you've had such a large squad changeover, he builds the new players into the team quite gradually. Although I think actually at the moment we haven't got many starters from last season. No. But he definitely gets a decent amount of time for me. And I think after the results, the win at Norwich, the 2 draws, I think people were happy with the draw at Leicester because, from our perspective, you're talking about a team who we were in the National League how many years ago? 3 years ago, something like that, and they were in the Premier League. So for us to go to Leicester and get a draw, most what you would, I hate the term, but what you'd call legacy fans are very happy about those sort of things when you think of drawing against Boreham Wood or someone away in the past.
I think, to be honest with you, going to Leicester and getting a draw is it's a great result in anybody's book at the moment, because despite the fact that they've had outgoings and despite the fact that they appear to have their own financial difficulties, they're still going to be a force in this league. But then again, I talk about this league in such a way that you'd think that the likes of Leicester, Ipswich, Sheffield United, being those teams relegated from the Premier League, would automatically be running away with things and getting results on a constant basis. They're not. This league is actually incredibly open, and it's nice to see some of the teams that are actually up there at the moment. You wouldn't expect it. For me, though, the team that we've just played against and actually I think are flying at the moment to Coventry, they're the ones to watch. But what can we... So, I mean, first of all, I've got to say, oh, God, a low away allocation last season, and we was all like, oh, we can't go. And then it gets lower. I mean, what are you doing to us? But what's happening at the stadium then? Because I think, last season you had a temporary stand behind the goal. It was brilliant. You had some, raucous support then pretty much all around the stadium. I remember the game against Birmingham and the fact that, our pocket of away fans were just in a corner, all away from things, sitting in an old stand, which I think Tommy Wagner had actually gone and bought drinks for people in that stand beforehand as well. But what's going on? I mean, is it just a reinvigoration of the stadium? Are you rebuilding? Why the lower capacity?
Right, I'll give you the short version. So basically, the COP is an ongoing saga going back many years. Got shut at sort of mid 2000s and essentially condemned. It's just laying there derelict for years and years. New owners come in, plans for a new stand. I think then it was about 5,000 seats. All gets approved, then all gets quiet. Then turns out they want an all singing, all dancing version of it, the full fat version, 7,500 seats. So it's classic sort of British planning laws, but they've so far got permission for 5,000 out of the 7,000. We've all been wondering when's work going to start, work going to start. We're told next month is when spades finally go in the ground, which is a great time for construction, I'm led to believe. November, when it's all cold and everything.
But it gets cold, windy, raining.
Yeah.
Oh, God, you're in Wales, so it always rains.
Yeah, I think they're looking at something like a 14, 15-month timeline. So in the meantime, the capacity's down from, I'm trying to think what it was with a temporary stand, maybe about 13 and a half, something like that. It's now down to 10,000. I'm not actually sure why the away end, the allocation would be down, unless they're just doing it as a percentage of...
There's a minimum percentage that they allocate in this league.
Yeah.
Before, it was very open with the club in terms of what is your minimum requirement and how do you take it forwards. And I think, if I remember rightly, it's 10% of the capacity or 2,000, whichever is the lower. So obviously the 10%, because we've only got just over 1,000 going.
Yeah, that would be it.
But
that would be.
You'll hear them. You'll hear them. So that'll be the.
I've got to say, I'm glad I don't have to sit in that away end, because I think our away end is one of the worst in in any league, to be honest. And I don't think the club mind it, because I think it's almost, I don't want to say deliberately that way, but you don't want your away fans to have a good time, basically. I think.
I've often said this about Birmingham. We've got a stand at the side that's, as old as some of the directors at the club. And then we've got the one behind the goal where all the away fans go at the moment. And we put them in the corner. We put them behind the goal. And it's like, no, put them to the side. But I think some of it is down to policing and other parts. Like you say, you don't want people to have a nice time.
We used to, back in, I don't know, when I started supporting early 2000s, the away team would have the end, which is now, where all our loudest fans sit behind the goal, sort of uni end of the stadium, and it was a bit weird, really. I mean, I'm not being funny, our attendances were probably more like something like 4,000, so maybe it made sense, but they always made a right racket in that end, and I do kind of like the fact they're consigned over that. I mean, the atmosphere this season, I've got to be honest, has been dire. It improved a bit against Derby. I mean, probably one of our best atmospheres last season at home was against your lot, so I'm kind of hoping they can get that going again.
It'll be the same. I think, last season it was like it was first versus second, wasn't it? And it was, everybody was going on about it. Who's going to finish the top? Who's going to finish where they did? And then they did both of the games were a credit to the league, and let's hope we can get exactly the same out of them this time around as well. And we go on to that time. So
This episode is proud to be sponsored by Now, where you can stream Sky Sports flexibly. Catch the biggest games this season how you want, when you want. The football season is back, and you can keep up with all the action on Sky Sports with a Now membership. Whether you're perched on the edge of your sofa or hiding behind it, you can capture more of the drama this season with Now. The heat of the moment, the 90th minute winner, that last-ditch tackle, the pride on the line, and the best bit, you can dip in for the derby or stay for the season. With a Now month membership, you can stream all Sky Sports channels flexibly. No fuss. Go to nowtv.com to find out more about sports memberships. 18 plus, UK only. Minimum speed 2.5 megabits per second. Live scheduling may be subject to change. Full terms apply.
We're hitting the game and a run of form, like I say, that Birmingham aren't used to. Away from home, losing the last two, not playing well at home at all. So I'm not going to say a rich vein of form like we were in before. You guys, you've had your losses, but you've got back in with two, for me, very good draws against teams that, Derby might fall away, but Leicester are going to be there or thereabouts. And Derby may also end up being there as well. So, as we go into the game, what does your heart say the result will be? And what does your head say the result will be?
Right, heart first, which is I want that decent atmosphere back. I want the place rocking, and I think my heart says we'll grab a 2-1 win. Finally this would be our first home win of the season if we do, which tells you how much things have reversed because, we were unstoppable at home before. My head says probably a repeat of last season's, a 1-1 draw. Quite a tight affair. Yeah, I think that's probably about where my head's at the minute. When we score quite regularly, but I don't think other than like the Norwich game, we haven't scored loads of goals in a single game. So it'd be quite tight, I think.
And I think, I've got to be honest, my head is exactly the same. I just think what I want to see from Birmingham tomorrow is a defensive structure that looks sound. We have really missed that. And I want to see that come back. When that happens, we're a totally different squad. When we go behind, whereas before there was this, don't worry, we can come back. In this league, it's different, but we are both promoted teams from the same division who arguably have built a squad that is still probably, fair to say, gelling. And, probably like Birmingham, actually, I don't think we have seen yet our best set of players on the pitch at the same time. So I'm the same as yourself. I think it's going to end up the same as what we did last season with a 1-1. I do think it's going to be an entertaining game, though, because of the defensive frailties and the strike force abilities that both of the clubs have got. I am hoping to see a much better performance out of our midfield. I think Doyle, he was absolutely phenomenal for the 60 minutes on Tuesday against Sheffield Wednesday. And if that type of player comes out on the pitch, you may find it hard with those because he is just total control at the midfield at the time was brilliant to see. Paik and Iwata have been off the boil this season when they're together. We actually saw Paik dropped on Tuesday to the bench. He did come on in the second half, but again, didn't really bring much. So I'm hoping we see a Doyle and Iwata midfield. Out on the wings, hard to call, apart from Dimmy Gray. Dimmy Gray will be there, and you'll see him bombing forwards. I don't think we'll see Kumas starting, but I could be wrong again. It's down to what Davies thinks. However, up front, you're definitely going to see Stansfield. He's our staunch player. He's the expensive player as well, so he's going to be in the squad. And I think we'll see Kyogo as well. He's due a goal.
Was he the one that scored the incredible goal against us where it just I gave up when that
no, well, Kyogo's our new striker. He's
right, sorry.
no, he's coming. You're thinking Iwata. So yeah, Kyogo came in and it's fair to say he's had his opportunities. He's been through on goal a couple of times and he just wants to take that extra touch. As us as fans, we're all just going, just hit it. Because he's good, you know, I still think that when he gets one, he'll go on a run for the rest of it. So it's gonna be a good game. I'm really looking forward to it. There will be a raucous atmosphere. There always is. And yeah, I mean, come on. You're going to have Disney there filming your next round of documentaries. And who knows whether Birmingham are going to have their next round of documentary as well, because you could have two lots of camera crews there.
Fighting for position.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? Who's got the best documentary? We will see. And in fact, on that particular point, it leads me nicely into the fact that Birmingham themselves as a club are nominated as Best Football Club, Football League at the Football Content Awards. The documentary, Brady and the Blues, is also up for one of the documentary awards. I believe Wrexham might be in there, but I haven't gone as far down that list to find out because obviously I voted for Brady. But more importantly, Tilton Talk has been nominated for the fourth time, this time in Best Club Content Creator category. So for everybody watching, if you haven't voted, please do look out for details of how you can vote or visit the FCA website and you'll see details on there to take it forward. But on that point, I just want to say, Liam, thank you very much for taking the time to run us through the upcoming game of Disney versus Amazon, better known as Wrexham versus Birmingham City. Friday night on Sky TV, it's going to be a great one. This has been the Away End, sponsored by AMG Logistics and in association with the Birmingham City Official Supporters Club, of which details you can find on screen or by visiting www.bcfcosc.com. Come and join us because we're a great bunch and we're doing some fantastic things in the community. Well, Liam, thank you again. Here's to a great game on Friday night. I hope you have a good season for the rest of it. I just don't want you to have a good game on Friday and the next time we meet. But as always, I will sign off by saying thank you very much and keep right on.
Cheers.
This episode is proud to be sponsored by Now, where you can stream Sky Sports flexibly. Catch the biggest games this season how you want, when you want. The football season is back, and you can keep up with all the action on Sky Sports with a Now membership. Whether you're perched on the edge of your sofa or hiding behind it, you can capture more of the drama this season with Now. The heat of the moment, the 90th minute winner, that last-ditch tackle, the pride on the line, and the best bit, you can dip in for the derby or stay for the season. With a Now month membership, you can stream all Sky Sports channels flexibly. No fuss. Go to nowtv.com to find out more about sports memberships. 18 plus, UK only. Minimum speed 2.5 megabits per second. Live scheduling may be subject to change. Full terms apply. This podcast is brought to you by Coral, and they're here for the fans. At the Fan Network, we have a mission to shake up the game we all love, and that's why we partnered with Coral, who've been shaking things up too. With their free-to-play reward shaker, there are guaranteed rewards and exclusive offers to be won every single day. Whether you're a part of the Badging Brigade, the Away Dayers, or the Football Fashionistas, Coral's here for the fans. Play Coral's reward shaker and win bigger guaranteed daily rewards and offers this season. For over 18s only, maximum one reward or offer per player per day. Reward restrictions and requirements and other T's and C's apply. Visit gambleaware.org for more details.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.